The Piscatoris area is home to much open wilderness and a few colonists. Built somewhat more recently, a fishing colony can be found in these Western Provinces of Kandarin. Founded by humans, its residents are diverse, hailing from Ardoin, Mauritania, and even barbarian lands. Though the colony thrives on the fishing industry, especially that of monkfish, it has come upon hard times as of late. The Eagle's Peak was once a stronghold for the bandits of the Golden Claw, a group of Kandarin thieves led by the criminal Arthur Artemis. Over time, he and his gang tamed the giant eagles and built up convoluted mechanisms for living in the mountains and keeping others out. Though the gang's greatest theft was that of a loaf of bread stolen from Eagleback, they remained hidden in their stronghold until they were all strangely whisked away. The hunter area between the Eagle's Peak and the Piscatoris fishing colony is quite isolated and remains a good place for hunters and nature researchers to spend their time. There are many distinct creatures that live in the area, including many different types of cabbit, the copper longtail, ferrets and rabbits, ruby harvest butterflies, and even chimchomper. Matthias lives within the area south of the fishing colony, where he trains falcons for hunter purposes, though not for the inexperienced. As we journey through the Piscatoris area today, we'll need to complete the Eagle's Peak quest. We have 2 achievements to do today. We'll need to catch a copper longtail and mine some iron ore near Piscatoris. For skill tasks, we'll need to catch a common cabbit, copper longtail, ruby harvest, wild cabbit, a ferret and a white rabbit, requiring level 27 hunter overall. We'll also be mining clay, tin, copper and iron at the mine, requiring level 15 mining. We will be returning to pest control today to complete 2 additional achievements. As part of the Western Provinces diary, we previously skipped the achievements to complete a novice game of pest control and to teleport to pest control using the minigame teleports while we were back in Port Sarim. Since we now have the combat level to participate, we will be completing these achievements and the Western Provinces diary as a whole. With all that in store for today, let's begin. We're walking into the Piscatoris hunter area today with a mission. We want to learn from Nicholaus, but we need to find him. To do that, we're going to need to train. We've brought our hunter gear with us as we explore the place, finding cabbits, chinchompers, ruby harvest and rabbit warrens. There are ferrets here too, and not too far away copper longtails. Since we have the know-how to catch copper longtail, we set up a trap and wait for one to fall into it. Though we don't succeed at first, it's not long before we manage to catch one. The feathers they supply are different again to those of the birds we've caught previously. The common cabbits are caught in a similar way to the fell-dip weasel, requiring us to follow the tracks and catch it with a noose wand once we find it. They provide cabbit fur when caught, as well as meat and bones. We'll catch 4 so that we can make some clothing like we did with the fell-dip weasel fur. Next on our list is the ruby harvest. They can easily be caught with a butterfly net and put into a jar. We like the ruby harvest as we can let them go afterwards, providing experience without the need to kill. It would be far better if we had more jars, but since we only have the one, we need to let it go before catching another. With this method, it's not long before we raise our hunter level to 20, where we can now place 2 traps at once. Catching more ruby harvest, we raise our hunter level to 21, 22 and 23 also. Now that we have level 23 hunter, we're able to catch wild cabbit. Unlike the common cabbits which we track, the wild cabbits require a rock trap. We first need to chop a tree for logs, then we prop up a boulder precariously with the log. After some time, a cabbit will pass under, disturbing the log and being crushed by the boulder. The cabbits drop claws but take some time to fall into a trap, allowing us to catch more ruby harvest in the meantime. From time to time, the traps are not successful at catching a cabbit and need to be reset. After a few more successful catches, we achieve level 24 and soon after, level 25. We have run out of inventory space now, so we head back to the bank in the known stronghold to put away some of our gains. We've learned also that we can add a pair of cabbit claws to vambraces to make spiky vambraces. This increases the melee strength bonus that they provide while looking cool also. Back in the hunter area, we keep catching cabbits. Unfortunately, we can't set up 2 deadfall traps, so we need to just keep catching butterflies while we wait for the one. Soon enough, we get level 26 hunter, and after a few more successful catches, level 27 hunter too. So, Charlie, I've been out to Piscatoris and caught a number of the creatures there. I've learned the area a little bit. I really think I could be of use. Besides, it's been a while since you've heard from Nicholaus. What's the harm in letting me look?
Well, I suppose you may be of some use then, since you seem to be so invested. Last I heard, he set up his camp near the Eagle's Peak. If you want to find him, that'd be the place to start.
The Eagle's Peak? That'd be the big mountain near the river, right?
The one with the eagles. Yes.
Well, since we're going to search for Nicholaus, we're going to bank all of our stuff before we go. We head back to Piscatoris, passing the training camp and the tree gnome stronghold. Reaching the Eagle's Peak, we look around and soon find the campsite. There are ferrets all around, but no Nicholaus. The site is abandoned and prints can be found around the camp. Searching the gear at the camp, we find a book inside of Nicholaus's things. The book we find talks about all sorts of birds, from the crimson swifts, copper longtails and tropical wagtails that we've captured, up to giant eagles. A curious metal feather is hidden away in the book also. The book speaks of a hideout with a secret entrance at the peak of the mountain. Climbing up the nearby rocks, we examine a strange rock shape, finding a slot with a feather carving above it. Let's put the metal feather in the slot perhaps. Success! We found an entrance. Looking around the place, it's not long before we find the giant feathers of an eagle and soon after Nicholaus. He doesn't seem to be in distress. Instead, he's excited about finding the giant eagle nest. We ask him about the ferret, but it seems that he was too excited about finding the eagle nest to complete his task for the zoo. He does admit, however, that he would leave with us but is currently trapped in the eagle nest. He thinks the only way out will be to trick the eagle into thinking he's one of their chicks by fashioning a disguise. It seems a little far-fetched to us, but with no other idea in mind, we may as well. We pick up a bunch of eagle feathers, but we want to check this place out a little bit first. There's a doorway between us and Nicholaus that is firmly locked with engravings of feathers that may operate as a key mechanism. There are side tunnels here from when the lair was used as a base for bandits. This one has a bronze feather placed on a plinth with a net trap. Interesting. There are winches in the corner of the room too. Another side tunnel has a similar plinth but no feather. Okay. While we're here, we don't know how many feathers we'll need. Safer to grab more than necessary. A final side tunnel has a strange set of mechanical birds on railing. We'll need to come back to this. Making our way to the bank, we grab runes and teleport to Varrock. While here, we're going to sell the kebbit claws we have left over for a decent bit of cash. Visiting the clothing merchant who made our camo gear previously, they tell us that they could make a pair of eagle costumes, though they need swamp tar and yellow dye on top of the feathers we already have. We do have swamp tar in the bank, but no yellow dye. Returning to Lumbridge, however, we can stop over at Farmer Fred's house to grab some onion, and then head to Aggie and Draenor to make dye, as we have many times before. With all the required ingredients, we return to the clothing merchant, bringing along the kebbit fur we received earlier. The merchant can make wood camo clothing from the fur, and also makes us a pair of eagle camouflage sets, consisting of a cape and beak. We look ridiculous. Regardless of how we look, we make our way back to Ardoin and then to the Eagle's Peak. Even though the disguise is not at all convincing, Nicholaus seems convinced. Perhaps this will work on an eagle. Still, we need a way to get through the doorway, which means finding the key to the mechanism. Returning to the room we saw, we attempt to disengage the net trap by operating each of the winches. This doesn't seem to work as we narrowly avoid being caught by the net. Now the feather is suspended up there too. Operating the winches again drops the net, plinth and feather too. This feather is made of bronze. In another room, it appears as if a feather was laid upon the plinth but now is gone. We do find tracks leading away from the plinth, however. Using our hunting skills, we track the prints like a common kebbit or felded weasel to another tunnel. We check it out, but a humongous kebbit jumps out and attacks us. We attempt to appear threatening to the kebbit, but it doesn't budge, so we fight it. It has a lot of hit points and we're not armed, though it's not too tough. Upon taking it out, we retrieve a silver feather. Curious. Heading into the final tunnel, there's birdseed near the entrance. Let's grab some, the eagle might like it. Looking around the room, there are seed holders and eagles on tracks. All around the place are levers too. I wonder why. There's a gate behind some of these bird statues. This must mean something. We pull a lever but nothing seems to happen. Putting birdseed in one of the holders causes the mechanical eagle to move closer. Weird. This must be a puzzle that we need to solve. Heading all around the room, we deposit birdseed into holders, making mechanical eagles move while we pull levers. Eventually, we're able to pull the right levers to open up a pathway to the golden feather. Hooray! Now, with these feathers, we place them into the stone door, unlocking it and allowing us passage beyond it. There's evidence of a ruined hideout, now abandoned. Beyond it, more eagles. Let's not mess with them. Returning to Nicholaus, we sneak by the giant eagle and give him the other disguise set. With that, we're able to escape, and he tells us to meet him at his camp. Grateful for our assistance getting him out of the nest, Nicholaus agrees to catch a ferret while also teaching us how to use box traps. With Nicholaus rescued and a ferret in hand, we return to the Ardoin Zoo. Hello again. I've rescued Nicholaus from giant eagles and he's given me a ferret for you.
Huh, I must have underestimated you. Very well done. This will be an excellent addition to our collection.
Now that we know how to use a box trap, we're going to use one to catch a ferret. We can also lay 2 traps at once, allowing us to catch 2 ferrets. Catching a ferret allows us to flush out a rabbit warren to try to catch a rabbit. Rabbits are quick. Flushing them out at one end causes them to come out another. We need to work out where the rabbits are coming from, then set the trap down in such a way as to catch them. Once we manage to work that out, we successfully catch a rabbit, getting raw rabbit meat, bones, and a rabbit's foot. We're going to explore the area a little more now that we've caught all the things we wanted to catch in this area. Looking further north, we find a fenced-off area crawling with kebbits and watched over by a falconer. Despite our skill, the falconer won't lend us a falcon to hunt with just yet. Once we're more experienced, for a small fee, he'll let us give it a go. We try to make use of the fire in his hut to cook our raw rabbit, but the fire is only usable by a Fremenic, which we are not. We no longer need this captured ferret, so we release it back into the wild. Good luck, buddy. Nearby to here is a small mine containing iron, copper, clay, and tin, which we can make use of. A nearby person stands before a fenced-in area. He tells us about the fishing colony behind him that is being assaulted by trolls. We offer to help, but he claims he needs an experienced adventurer. We're pretty experienced, we've helped dozens of settlements, but apparently we're not good enough for him. Maybe it was the eagle costume that caused him to doubt our skill. We look around the rest of the northern area, but there's not a lot to see that we can access. We'll have to come back to the fishing colony with more experience. With a handy boat, we can travel back down the coastline towards the Eagle's Peak, and that's when we remember about pest control. The last time we were there, we thought we were a big shot, but were turned away. Now that we're not good enough for this fishing colony, let's humbly check if we can help the Void Knights. With our current combat level, we can now teleport to pest control, one of the achievements we couldn't complete earlier. We try to craft a rabbit's foot necklace for good luck, but we're not a skilled enough craftsperson just yet. Nobody tell the crafting guild. Geared up, we can join a novice crew to aid the Void Knights against their threat. We're not entirely sure what to do, so we wait until mysterious creatures begin to attack. We try our best to attack them, but struggle to do much damage. The creatures are strange, teleporting around and popping when we kill them, damaging us. We eventually get the hang of it, but we can't hit enough for the Void Knights to keep us here. We tried our best. Since we want to do our best to help the Void Knights, we give it another go. This time we defend the central area along with others. We manage to get some far better hits, and before long we drive the threats away, successfully defending the outpost. The Void Knights are impressed, offering us rewards and money for our efforts. It looks like we've impressed the people of the Western Provinces enough to be rewarded further also. With the 3 points we have, there's not much we can get for a reward with the Void Knights. We'll keep this for another time perhaps. Making our way back to the Tree Gnome Stronghold, we're presented with the Western Banner for our achievements in the Western Provinces of Kandarin. Along with the banner, we can claim Ogre Arrows from rants once per day with 25% chance of 2 chompy birds appearing at once. We do, as usual, receive an experience lamp, which as always we put into thieving, getting level 33. Since we can get Ogre Arrows from rants, we decide to make the most of it, claiming the arrows before returning to the chompy hunting grounds for a little more hunting. So far we've done 30 kills, but we can earn different hats if we get as many as 40 and 50 kills. Using the new arrows, we spend a bit of time hunting chompy birds, getting level 32 ranged in the process. Before long we exceed 50 kills, getting 51 due to 2 chompies arriving at once. We cook them up at Jagig, getting level 40 cooking and some food for later. Back with Rance, he noticed the number of chompy birds we've hunted, granting us 2 new hats, the Bowman hat and the Ogre Gaoman hat. The red Ogre Gaoman hat is more respected, but personally I like the green Bowman hat. Given our skill, we have to at least test the ranging guild. Okay, I didn't expect much. We're glad that we were able to find and rescue Nicholaus from the clutches of the giant eagles, learning about box traps and improving our skills as a hunter. Sadly, we're not able to engage with the people of the Piscatoris fishing colony or their plight. We've reached the western edges of Kandarin now and need to move on. We're going to travel north of Ardoin and see what we can find atop the waterfall. Please join me next time in the Barbarian Outpost. A special thank you to Piscatoris for providing a voice for today's video. If you'd like a chance to voice a character in the series, subscribe and join the Discord. Links in the description below.